All right. So I enjoy working with all people for different reasons, but I especially love working with business owners or just high performance people. So that could be business owner, could be coach, consultant, executive, athletes. Um, I got a couple emergency room physicians in the program right now. Just anybody that is in like a high performance field that requires them to be super resilient, and they usually know how to apply a framework, meaning a step by step approach. They know how to, be coachable. They usually are doing quite a few healthy activities. In fact, usually these high performance people, they're going too hard. And so I have to kind of pull them back a little bit. But it's a lot easier to pull somebody back a little bit who's maybe going a bit too hard with self improvement and teach them to listen to their body and start to self regulate more and prioritize rest and working from a place of rest than somebody who is, let's say, in their room, completely avoiding life, not really, um, applying much. They don't have a history of applying frameworks. I work with those people and I love those people, but it's going to take them longer to recover than the high performance people. And so I wanted to just read this pretty powerful message that I got. And of course, I'm going to keep them private, but this is somebody that without question is who I consider to be a high performance individual. This is somebody that basically, whenever he came to me, I mean, he's basically, waking up at like 5:30 in the morning, running for a couple miles, doing cold plunges, sauna, working God knows how many hours per week, very successful in the business world. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm telling you, once you have proper co regulation, which is really just, working with somebody that can help build hope during the recovery process, really help you contextualize these principles and self regulation to your life. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, people like you, if you'll just apply this stuff and make it a priority, you will see results probably faster than anybody else. Doesn't always happen like that, but a lot of times, especially with high performance people, they see results faster than almost any of my other clients. And so the message, I was like, "Hey, how's everything going?" And he said, "Things are going good. I'm actually already seeing a big improvement implementing these practices that you've taught me." He also says that my depersonalization realization is way down. There were 2 days last week where I rarely felt anything. So this is somebody coming in who I want to double check this because I want to make sure that I say the right time. I'm going to look at the form that he filled out. Yeah, so he's been experiencing symptoms, honestly, like his whole life off and on. I mean, even starting as a kid. And, you know, this is not like that it was an easy case. It wasn't that, he wasn't really going through that much. I mean, he literally has been experiencing severe, severe symptoms. I actually will read a couple of them because he filled out an intake form whenever we did our first session. So, severe light sensitivity, depersonalization, derealization, racing thoughts, anxiety attacks, panic attacks, fear of doing normal everyday tasks like going outside or the grocery store or even taking out the garbage due to a sense of overwhelm, sense of impending doom, avoidant to make plans with friends because I'm sure I'll have a full blown DPDR, freak out. um, yeah, so I mean, you can see, oh yeah, waking up and immediately feeling a sense of panic and anxiety and a racing heart, panic attacks while driving. Like, this is not a light situation here. But yet, because of his ability to be consistent and because with these high performance people, I just tell them what to do and I just give them a little bit of guidance and they're off to the races. I mean, he has been able to already see a major shift in his nervous system within, I mean, he started working with me August 29th. So, I mean, we're talking, you know, just a couple weeks. Is that 3 weeks? right? Already seeing a major reduction in depersonalization realization. Well, what are depersonalization realization? They are trauma coping mechanisms. What is trauma? Trauma is a state of overwhelm in the nervous system, and DPDR are really there to separate you from that overwhelm happening in your body and your life. And because he was so consistent with these principles and these approaches, especially the body based techniques and lifestyle adjustments. And he received that co regulation. In fact, if I remember correctly, whenever he signed up to work with me, I think we spent like 3 hours just going over a situation. Whenever somebody signs up to work with me, you know, I really like to start it off with a boom. And I don't usually, coach that long for the initial session, but I could feel his hunger. I mean, he was just like, okay, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I was like, absolutely, let me answer that question for you. And whenever I get around hungry people, it pulls the coach out in me. It pulls, you know, my desire to help people even more whenever I see that hunger. And so anyway, I just wanted to I just wanted to show you what can happen if you go all in with this. And, you know, I want to be clear for all the people that aren't high performance people, don't let that discourage you, because all it simply means is we have to just build more foundation, and that's okay. Like I always try to describe it as a house. Okay. So let's say that, this guy, he came in to work with me. He's already got the plumbing, or he's got the land, using the house metaphor. He's got the land, plot of land. He's got the plumbing. He's got the electrical. He's got the foundation, and he had a few rooms built. And so I come in and I'm like, okay, this is how we build this room. This is how we build this room. We need to establish this thing and this thing and this thing. And do you see how, because he's already got so much already built, metaphorically speaking, meaning that he already knows how to be resilient, he already knows how to apply a framework, he is already just, active, he's moving, he's actually doing so much that some of our coaching session was me being like, hey man, we need to pull back a little bit. I know we tend to think that exercise and going to the gym and cold plunges and sauna are the answer to everything, but that's not true. Sometimes, especially when it comes to exercise in the gym, pushing yourself too hard can actually push yourself further into a trauma response or into an anxiety response. Like, we just take a bunch of random healthy activities and we start throwing at our nervous system, and we're like, well, why isn't it working? Well, because anxiety and trauma recovery don't happen when you do random healthy activities. They happen when you specifically do things that communicate safety to your nervous system. And believe it or not, sometimes that looks like taking a step back. Doesn't mean you have to stop working out necessarily or stop exercising. In fact, I tell every one of my clients, daily exercise is paramount. But there's a difference between going for a 15-minute walk and running for 5 miles, right? And especially if your body's constantly going into an anxiety or trauma response, you don't have that energy to burn. It's like, metaphorically speaking, your car's out of gas, which represents your body, and you're behind the car just manually just pushing it. And then people don't have natural energy, and so they just start drinking coffee and Red Bull and Monster and all these things. And their body's exhausted. And that is one reason why their nervous system is deploying these symptoms of fight, flight, freeze response. And so anyway, what I'm saying is, it's kind of like, I always describe it as like a grandfather clock, right? You've got the pendulum, toe, 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 toe. That's the actual sound that a grandfather clock makes, if you didn't know. Toe, 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 toe. Not tick-tock, tonk, anyway. But you've got kind of one group of people, they're completely avoidant of life. I'm going to use kind of hyperbole and extremities. They're literally staying in the room. They're never leaving the house, and their whole life is built around symptoms. They don't have any morning routine. There's no day structure. They're not doing absolutely anything. They don't have any resilience, and they don't know how to apply a framework. That's one side. And then you swing the pendulum to the opposite end, and that's like this person that just became my client. It's basically waking up at 4:30, 5:30 in the morning, running several miles, and then doing a cold plunge and Wim Hof breathing, and working 60 hours a week, and just go, 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 right? Very resilient, knows how to apply a framework to be successful, right? It's a lot easier for that person to just pull the pendulum back a little bit, back down to balance, than to go from the opposite extreme back to that place of balance, right? It's the distance between here and here versus the way over here over to there. Do you see what I'm saying? And so anyway, I'm happy to work with anybody, but I will tell you that if you are a high performance individual, and what I mean by high performance is you're somebody that you weren't that avoidant type, as far as like you weren't the person that avoided driving and going to work. Your response to your symptoms was, I'm going to wake up earlier and I'm going to work out more and exercise more. And you're the David Goggins listening type and Jocko Willink listening type. And you're like, let's do more cold plunges, more gym sessions. And you're just throwing tons of healthy activities and you're very disciplined. You've got a lot of resilience and you know how to apply a framework. If you would like to come work with me, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to recover faster than anybody else that I work with. And I'm I'm good at helping all types of people as far as the ones I describe, but especially you. And I think some of it has to do with I'm a high performance individual, right? I have a tendency to overwork and to do too much. So I'm always having to pull it back too. And so I think that's part of the reason, but just again, the reason goes back to you've already got a lot of the prerequisites in place. So if you're a business owner, coach, consultant, executive, athlete, doctor, nurse type, or medical field type, career, or just any career, even if I didn't mention it, that's just very high performance and you're just a high performance individual in general, I would really like to work with you, and I'm going to be able to completely transform your life. I'm going to help other people transform their life as well. I mean, I've got like 129 people in my Rise program right now of all types, and I love working with all people. I'm just saying these types of fast, big results a lot of times come from these high performance people. And so that's all I had to say about that. Click like if this helps you. I do got to jump to a meeting, and subscribe and comment, all that fun stuff. And we'll talk to you real soon. Take care.